Hey guys, what's going on? MaxFTE here, and today I'm back with another Pokemon Go Great League video. Today we're going to be using a team of Charjabug, Lantern, and Talonflame. Obviously Charjabug on the lead, Lantern, and Talonflame in the back. This was another one of the top performers on PvPoke. A really solid team, and overall good stuff, really. Did you also know that only 3.3% of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed? So if you're enjoying, make sure to leave a like, hit that subscribe, and help us on the road to 10k. But yeah, let's jump into the battles. Jumping straight into the first battle here, we've got Charjabug on the lead versus Skarmory. This is a really good lead for us, obviously with the rise of Skarmory in this sort of season here. You will notice this entire team is really good against Skarmory. Pretty much everything does beat it. So Skarmory is not a threat at all. And with this sort of Charjabug in the Lantern, there has been a sort of big rise in Azumarill recently, as well as your sort of flying types like your, as I say, Skarmory, your Talonflame, that sort of thing. This is an, I was about to say A team, but obviously both Charjabug and Lantern they're both electric types, but I would say that they can sort of serve different purposes as well, with the X-Scissor versus the Surf. But yeah, overall, really solid team. This was from the PvPoke top performers. I just thought I'd give it a go down in the 2100, 2200 ELO range, see how we get on. There are a couple things you will notice that this team will struggle against. Things like Swampert, sort of ground types in general, really. There is also your sort of dragon types, which there has been maybe not the best time to run this team, just because there is a sort of huge rise in not Talonflames, in Dragonair leads at the moment. I've seen a lot of videos on that, and I've actually also noticed a lot of that being played, but it is what it is. It's a strong team regardless, and you're not totally defenseless against those things. You've got a lot of moves that can hit for neutral damage against your ground types and your dragons, so it's just sort of about wriggling your way through it. Charjabug and Lantern, both very bulky Pokemon, as well as Talonflame putting out a lot of damage, especially if you're ramping up your attack with the Flame Charge. But yeah, got the Lantern in here against the Umbreon. They're firing off a foul play. This isn't going to quite KO us here, so we're just going to manage to get to another move, but they do actually swap out and try to farm me down with the Swampert. They do, however, not quite manage, and we do get to the Thunderbolt, giving us the game. I think they maybe would have... no, we had that regardless, that's okay. Charjabug in against the Drifblim. This was quite a random lead. I was a bit worried because obviously this thing does get Mystical Fire. I can't actually remember, I don't think it does that much damage itself, but sort of the Fire type against the Bug type, that was what had me a bit worried. That's why I shielded the first one. It is just the Icy Wind, so that does sort of tell me that they're not going to have it. I think as a Drifblim, you would either have Icy Wind or Mystical Fire, not both, so yeah, I mean, they keep going for the Icy Wind here, so they do obviously have Shadow Ball as well as Icy Wind. I'm going to let that go through there. They do come in with the Azumarill. I could have just stayed in with the Charjabug, however, because my attack had been debuffed so much, we're just going to swap out, clear that debuff, and come in with the Lantern. Obviously, Azumarill can hit for decent enough damage with the Play Rough, but we're just going to farm up a lot of energy here and just go straight for the Thunderbolt. They did farm up a bit extra. It was counting there how many bubbles they needed to get to their next move. They do, however, just live enough to get to another Play Rough, which is a bit unfortunate, but it does also mean that Medicham gets less counters off and doesn't farm us down for as much. We do have the Talonflame at this point, so yeah, we've pretty much already won this game. Obviously, we've still got the Drifblim in the back, which is just, it's game over. This opponent just needs to give up at this point. We do go, I sort of guessed that they were going to try and snipe with the Drifblim. I swap into my own Charjabug and go for the move, take them out, and yeah, the opponent's going to quit the game there. Charjabug on the lead versus the Poliwrath. Beautiful lead. That's one thing that there has been quite a lot of leads of, is the Poliwrath, so happy to see that there. Now, because they had the Poliwrath in the front and we do also have the Lantern in the back, I'm just going to stay in here with the Charjabug, just because that's going to be sort of my best answer for the Dragonair. Very bulky, so the Dragon Breaths aren't doing as much as you might think. And yeah, obviously Lantern's totally fine for Poliwrath. Thankfully they do let their Dragonair go, and we just have to hope that it's not like a Bastiodon or something in the back. We're just barely going to get to a discharge here, which is really unlucky for the opponent. They are going to shield it up, rightfully so. We come in with the Lantern, and they come in with a Carbink. Now, that was what scared me. Obviously, Talonflame is just going to get eaten alive by Carbink with those rock throws. Gonna go for the Surf. This is gonna... it does a little bit, tickles away. We hit the CMP tie on the next Surf, so they're probably going to shield here. No, sorry, they're going to let that go through. I've got 2 shields, so I want to say I'll probably shield and then switch to Talonflame and make an attempt to farming down. No, sorry, I go straight for the Flame Charge. And I want to say Poliwrath isn't quite going to be able to counter me down. Yeah, perfect. So we get to the fly. This would take them out. And again, at this point is game over. They can't really do much. They don't have any charge moves that they can hit for neutral with. I mean, obviously Poliwrath does learn Dynamic Punch, but nobody really runs Dynamic Punch. Next battle, we've got Charjabug v Charjabug. As you can see, my one's an XXL, so obviously that means we're going to win. If only. Going for the X-Scissor first, they actually stuck another move through, so at this point I'm not sure who wins CMP. But there, I won CMP, so it's either the same attack or I win it. I just know that I don't lose it, which is okay. Gonna let the first one go through, and at this point they are still 1 volt switch ahead, so they are rightfully so at their X's are just there. I do shield, and I want to say I just farm all the way down. Yeah, perfect, and we can leave that with a move stored. They come in with a Lantern, Water Gun Lantern, so we're going to go straight for the volt switch. Sorry, the discharge. That's going to hit for a decent enough neutral, and because Charjabug is actually quite bulky, we are going to be able to reach another discharge. This is going to be putting a lot of shield pressure onto the opponent, which they are going to shield there. Unfortunately, they do manage to farm us all the way down, which isn't looking so good, so we're pretty much forced to come in here with our own Talonflame. Sorry, not Talonflame, Lantern. Because we do have the Spark, we are looking not the worst. They do get to a Thunderbolt there, and just farm up a little bit of extra energy. I think I probably would have been able to go for the Surf there, but yeah, I mean, they would probably have shielded that anyway. They come in with, I try to catch onto the Talonflame. Because they shielded that up so desperately, that made me think that whatever they had really didn't want to see Talonflame, didn't want to see Lantern, sorry. So at this point, I want to say, I shield that up. It was a Surf, I could have let that go through, but it is a Dugong, unfortunately, which, I mean, like I said, obviously the Lantern, the Dugong didn't want to see that, but we just don't quite have enough health. Had I let that Surf go through and not shielded it, we would have been able to win that, but it is what it is, you can't win them all. Next game, Charjabug versus Azumarill. Beautiful lead. They're going to swap into their Superior, so we're going to come in with Talonflame, and yeah, it's looking really good so far. Getting the Grass type out of the way. Obviously Lantern does not want to see that at all. Don't know why I shielded that. I think I just sort of forgot how little Aerial Ace actually does. You really don't need to shield that. Yeah, it just sort of tickles the Talonflame. Farming all the way down, leaving with a ton of energy. They come back in with their Azumarill, so we can go for the fly, and this is going to do a decent amount, maybe 30% I want to say. Going for another fly, and they're probably going to want to shield up here just because they're going to be getting pretty low. But I'm going to swap out there, and yeah, the opponent ends up leaving the game. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, leave a like. If you've got any other team suggestions or anything like that, let me know. Make sure to subscribe, helps on the road to 10k, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya. Peace.